When it comes to building muscle, if we ignore mechanical tension, we ignore training really hard, going close to failure, then only one thing actually matters. Motor unit recruitment is everything. Motor unit recruitment is the amount of muscle fibers your body is recruiting. And this is something that fatigue messes with. The second you start training properly in any sort of good put together training program with good volume and just keeping away from really pushing yourself with intensifiers and all this and that, which doesn't really do anything when we understand what's going on with mechanical tension and with motor unit recruitment. When we do this, you notice you get sore again. Now, this isn't going to be one of those videos where it's talking about chasing soreness and how you should always be sore and you have to keep on adding things to be sore. This is the reduction of things leading to soreness. And if you're someone who's a thinker, you might have had this sort of perspective that you only get sore when you're adding things. You're not used to this, you're not used to that. You're adding sets, you're adding reps, you're slowing down tempo, whatever it is. That might be the way you've been perceiving soreness occurring. And it is true. The way we get sore is our body's not used to something. But you get soreness when you remove too. When you get good training, when there's less. And it doesn't occur to people why until you think about it. Now, there is no exception to this rule. It still is the case that soreness happens when your body isn't used to something. But in this case, we have to think about how motor unit recruitment plays a role. See, motor unit recruitment, recruiting more muscle fibers, if fatigue is less, if there's less reps, there's less sets, there's different cadence with the tempo, whatever it is, more rest time, who knows? If this occurs and we're getting sore because of this better programming, what's actually going on here is we're tapping into new muscle fibers. Muscle fibers that your body is not used to recruiting, that your body is not used to implementing damage prevention methods which will prevent it from getting sore. Now again, we don't really know what causes soreness, but we do know it happens on a fiber-specific level, and if you have an active fiber, you get used to it, and then you don't really get sore anymore. But if you're coming out of this intermediate stage, it will be very hard to access certain muscle fibers, especially if you're doing training which absolutely sucks. And if you go in the description, you'll find a workout skeleton you can put together, choose your own exercises, all this and that, which will actually make sure that you're actually training properly and not doing too much, and it will explain how every single exercise works. But that's not the point. If you go from that intermediate stage, you are currently at an intermediate stage, you plateaued, you don't really know what's going on. Well, most intermediates haven't plateaued. They haven't even begun to see the prevention of continued progress. What they have reached is they've reached the ceiling for the way they're training. See, if you are overreaching, if you are having a program which has too much fatigue to the point where it's unnecessary, you're not getting any additional stimulus, blah, 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 all that stuff, if you get to that point, you are literally locking away muscle fibers from your body. Let's pretend that this little tube here is your muscle potential, and all this white stuff is the stuff you've been accessing. That grey top on top, I know that's quite clever, but the grey top is stuff you could be accessing if you were programming things properly, if you weren't adding too much fatigue. And no matter how hard you train, how consistent you are, how much you care, you will not get to that grey top, because it is impossible. The grey is only there because the fatigue is preventing the access. So you get rid of that fatigue, you do a proper program like the one down below, you learn what's actually going to reduce that motor unit recruitment, because motor unit recruitment is everything outside of mechanical tension, pushing close to failure, all that stuff. You're going to get into that grey zone and you're going to see consistent growth. It's going to feel like you got your newbie gains back. It won't be the same level as your newbie gains, but the instant jump, the instant soreness, all this will occur. And this doesn't matter how many years you've been going, how much you think you've maxed out your potential, it is going to happen if you haven't been training properly. And most people think they're training properly, and they aren't. You just got to go read my stuff. Go look at that workout skeleton, go read my stuff on volume, go watch my stuff on training intensity, learn about motor unit recruitment, learn about mechanical tension. There is always going to be some low-hanging fruit for you, I absolutely promise. But if you increase this motor unit recruitment, you can get growing again, and you can get growing pretty well. And here's a little kind of some random stuff you can do at the end, which is going to help. And if you implement them, you will start to notice that you're getting sore again, even when maybe you're reducing or you're not really doing anything extra. It doesn't really make sense because it's not a training variable you're changing potentially. But let's go into that. And obviously, first things first, yeah, go look at that workout skeleton. Genuinely, if you implement that today, you're going to be making some of the best progress that you are, and it's like the second day of the year, so I'd really recommend that. That's the best advice I can give. But second to that, listen to music you enjoy. You're probably already listening to music you enjoy. If you're not, listen to music you enjoy. If you're listening to music you enjoy, pick faster music, pick music you enjoy more. Be absolutely abusive to your music playlist. If you come across a song you don't like, skip it, remove it, block it. Even if it's one you used to like, just get it out of your gym playlist. Don't let that be there. That's going to bring the vibes down. It's going to hurt your actual sessions. I know that sounds weird, but trust me, if you did one thing and it was being absolutely insane with your music, you would start to notice soreness randomly appearing because you're tapping into new zones. It's weird. Third, I guess, pre-workout. If you try it, if you take it, it is going to help. I'm going to be doing videos on pre-workout, newsletters on pre-workout. I have a newsletter, by the way, down in the description as well. Subscribe also in general. If you made this far, you probably like what I'm saying, and I've caught you here for this long, so subscribe. But the point is, with pre-workout, there's things that help, things that don't, so look into pre-workout, watch some of my stuff on it, wait for some of the stuff that I'm going to come out with. But fourth, work out with friends. If you're someone who enjoys working out with friends, you enjoy the vibe, it's a good time, do it more, and you'll start getting sore again, you'll be getting more motion in your recruitment, you'll be growing better. That's good. Make sure fatigue isn't too far high. I literally talk about fatigue so much here. Fatigue is the biggest blocker of your gains. It sounds weird, but it's not all about crushing the mindset and pushing as hard as possible. That has a part to play, but fatigue is, So, make sure fatigue isn't affecting that. That comes in your volume, that comes in your rep ranges, that comes in your rest times, that comes in your frequency, that comes in the days you're hitting the gym, that comes in your cardio, that comes in everything outside the gym, that comes, I guess, into sleep and stuff, I guess. Who cares? 3 minutes rest minimum. If you bump your rest time up to that, you're going to start noticing soreness. And if it means, I'm in the gym for 2 hours, there is a problem there. The problem isn't that you're in the gym for 2 hours. It's the fact that you have volume that means 3 minute rest mean you're in the gym for 3 hours. That's the problem. Last, stay locked in. Be highly motivated in your sets. Try and break previous records. And again, it's going to do it. So, this is where the future of your gains is going to come from, especially if you feel like you've plateaued. And if you feel like you plateaued, this is the perfect time to go and join the newsletter, so subscribe to the channel and just keep updated on the stuff I come out with. If you go back, there'll be something called hypertrophy principles in my newsletter, and it will literally tell you everything you need to know. You can also skim through the newsletter. There's only 6 pages, and each page has maybe 10 different articles on there, and you can really quickly skim the images, skim the titles. You will find something that seems like it's going to be useful for you, and if you think it's going to be useful for you, probably read it. That sounds like a good way to get the goals you want. I also have a ton on setting goals that work, and we're entering a new year, so probably the perfect time to create a really good goal which ends up creating momentum and drives towards the rest of your future and actually gets you that dream physique you want. So, first off from this, let's get you accessing those new fibres. Let's see what's in store for you. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Please, I really need to subscribe. I don't, but thank you for enjoying and watching and staying and sticking around.